Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'du. Well, welcome to the class. We are still talking about the theory of pesantren, and then in this session we would like to tell you about the history of pesantren. So why we have to know the history of pesantren? Because Indonesian country was built by the pesantren struggle, by the pesantren helps to construct these countries. So the history of pesantren is very important for Indonesian countries, for Indonesian education system, and for the life system in Indonesia in general. So why the history of pesantren must be known by all the people, especially for Islamic student, because pesantren is indigenous educational system, Indonesian indigenous educational system. We know that in Indonesia we have two kinds of educational system: school and pesantren. Madrasah is Islamic school. Madrasah is a school that's covered by Islamic values. Well, let's focus on pesantren history. Pesantrens was emerged since the 16th centuries. You see that Indonesian independent in 19th centuries, but pesantrens emerged since 16th centuries. Who is the older, pesantren or these countries? So we call the pesantrens emerged in 16th. So 300 years older than our countries. Okay, the transmission of Islamic knowledge from Arabia. So the history of pesantren, it is transmitted from Arabia, Egypt, and some cases India. So there are many theories why Islam come to Indonesia. Are they from Arabia, from Rasulullah SAW times, or from Egypt? Egypt mean from Maulana Ibrahim come from Egypt. So Wali Songo started from Egypt. And some cases from India, because there are many traders from Gujarat, India. The theory tell that the first spreaders Islam in Indonesia from Gujarat, India. Okay, let's see where is the first Islamic spreader in Indonesia. There is a group history or story that in 7th century Islam come to Indonesia, but in 16th century Islam spread larger to Indonesia. So this theory, the theory Islam from Arabia, from Egypt, and some cases from India is right. But the different terminology, the first in start from, the second is spreading, and the cases for the development of Islamic religious system. The pesantren is very simple development. Pesantrens come from the houses, especially for houses for Wali Songo or Nain's Wali. From house, especially Sunan Giri start the developing of pesantren not from educational system, but he create the irrigation. He adopt the Egypt irrigation from Nile River to Giri, and then from Giri, from Kediri, he showed to the people to create the irrigation to make the good or the good food or the for producing harvest for the people. So the people is very interested to create irrigation. So many follower Sunan Giri. So Sunan Giri is the figure to be followed by the people. So many people convert their religion from Buddhism and Hinduism to Islam. So pesantrens come from houses first, and the second, mosque. So after houses, the kiais built the mosque. Mosque is the center of activities. Mosque for madrasa, mosque for worship, mosque for consultation, mosque for kiais living, mosque for interaction, and many activities come from mosque. Yeah, and then house to be mosque and to be pesantren. Now, pesantren is very unique because the component of pesantren, at least we have 5 components. First, mosque, dormitory or pondok, third, kutubut turats or yellow books, kiais, and santris. So this is the pesantren. So how pesantren developed in our countries? There are many history. First time in colonial time, because we know that we 2500s colonized by Netherlands, but pesantren becomes the enemy of colonial. Pesantren growing in colonial time because many people is hate to the colonial, because colonial colonized and powered people to help colonial government or POZ, and the people is not independent to do everything. So pesantren is the home, the people home to express their heart, their hurt, to express their struggle and to consult many life problem of the people. So kiais give many solution. So in that time, many people look pesantren as the first solution to solve the life problem, the country's problem, especially the colonialization problem. So pesantren becomes a center for colonial resistance. As we know that we have Acehnes War, Javanese War. You know that Pangeran Diponegoro is the actors of hero, Indonesian hero. It comes from pesantren. It's a sentry. Every war, you always take the holy books and the kutubut turats, namely takrim. Okay, so in the colonial time, pesantren is facing the competition. The competitor is missionary school or colonial school. Missionary school mean the colonial take Nasrani or Christianity to Indonesia, but pesantren can attack the missionary school, and as of course the colonial school, the school system, the classical system, and pesantren is the endeso solution, because the people learn pesantren for their life, pesantren understand the people problem. So the people love pesantren and hates missionary school and colonial school. Well, so after independence, 1945 to present, the pesantren is consistent to be the private and the traditional Islamic system. The nation buildings want to make pesantren to be the national education system, but no. Even the government of Indonesia take the colonial school, adapt the colonial school to be the system. And pesantren make madrasah for the other solution for the similitude from the school. And many efforts for integrating to the national education system. And pesantren ask or offer the religious subject to the school. So in Indonesian constitution, that religious subject is the obligation subject, is the obligatory to include the religious subject to the school. But in pesantren, the religious subject is full learning and teaching material, full taught. And in national education system, civic education and religious subject is learned, is taught. And many national educational system focus on skill-oriented subject. For example, agriculture, craft, business, in vocational school, SMK. Until the 1910s, pesantren was male institution. Although some girls receive religious instruction. But in 2001, 2002, girl enrollment equal or exceed boy. So nowadays, pesantrens register male or female in one institution, not spirited institution. In Indonesia, the number of pesantren today is about 13,000 in Indonesia. Yeah. In Philippines, 2,000, nearly 1,600 in Thailand, and 500 in Malaysia, and several hundred in Cambodia, and 110 in Singapore. So the biggest pesantren, the biggest number of pesantren is in Indonesia. So Indonesia is the heavens of pesantren. Even in Tasikmalaya, for example, pesantren was built in every region, every village. And pesantren has many branches, Majlis Taklim, Madrasah Diniyah, and so on and so forth. This is the example of pesantren Darul Istiqamah, Pesantren Nurul Hidayah, Sunan Derajat, Cipasung, and so on and so forth. And the unique names of pesantren is refers to the region, is referred to the village, name village. For example, Pesantren Cipasung, Pesantren Tebu Ireng, Pesantren Krapia, Pesantren Malang, Pesantren Sukahideng, refers to the village, name village. So this is very unique. No Arabic language, but this is the many problem after Arabism or Pan-Arabism. Many pesantren convert the names of village to the Arabic names, Al-Huda, Al-Hidayah, Miftahul Huda, and so on and so forth. This is the number of enrollment in 2002, pesantren, madrasah, and school. So the quantitative numbers, school is bigger than pesantren. Yeah, and madrasa is okay, but the winner is school. Madrasa enrollment increased during the junior secondary school grades, yeah, to 21% of the student population. 21% in madrasa. Yeah. In addition, parents think that religions education will help children during their teen years. Teen years. So, after 10 years old, many parents of Indonesia ask to the pesantren to teach their boys, their girls, their kids in Islamic school. So what is the difference between pesantren and non-pesantren education? Okay, look, first in teaching. Pesantren focus on morality or akhlak, but non-pesantren education focus on rationality or akal, rationalism. Okay, so it is very, very different. So in pesantren, the morality is the main aspect of life. But in general education, rationality is the main aspect. Second, foundation. The pesantren is Islam. Islamic values is the foundation. But in school, Indonesian nationalism is the foundation. So civic is very obligatory. It's an obligatory subject in national school. Goals. So what is the goal? Pesantren is absolute truth. Absolute truth. So why? Because pesantren learns the authority of the truth. Pesantren learns about God message. The messengers message. Quran, Hadith, it's absolute truth. But in school, learn about knowledge, technology, that is the relative truth. So the method of pesantren is memorization. So the learning model is rote learning. Rote learning means that many santri use memory to memorize all of the material, all of the information. The santri always keep some information, some knowledge, some writing book, some nadoman, some song, and they keep for make it tradition to be taught to the next generation. But the method of school is discussion, analyze, rationalism, how to debate, how to discuss, how to solve the problem. This is different between pesantren or non-pesantren or school. The orientation, pesantren orientation to is for hereafter, the absolute time, the never-ending days in the hereafters, and the absolute heaviness, the never-ending heaviness. Hereafter is the orientation, but school is for this world. Learning about economy for making wealth, learning about physics for making a product, for making an engineering. Attitude, seker, takdim, kawalat, pamali, berkah. It's very, very seker. But attitude from school is propane. Leadership is charismatic. Kiai is very charismatic. We do not care. Kiai is very smart or not. Do not care. We do not care. Kiai is very simple or complicated. Is very good welfare or bad welfare. We don't care. But we care about the charismatic. Kiai is very charismatic. Kiai is the figure. Everything must be followed. The the every speaking is very a truth, but leadership in school is very rational. It must be measurable, it must be observable, the management must be modern, and the leadership must be rolling, must be change. The innovation is a need, is a must. So this is a school. Well, maybe next time we would like to tell you about the element of pesantren and their role. Thank you for your attention, and I think this theory is very good to know the basic pesantren knowledge. Thank you very much, and assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.